How you doing?
Pleasure.
You know what? Thank you for, I'm happy to be, and honored to be sitting with you because especially now you're in this place. You said that I'm in a different space in my life now, personally and professionally. What do you mean by that?
Mm. Well, I think in the beginning, we all want to be successful, whatever that means. We all want to sell a bunch of records and get a bunch of money and, you know, get some type of stardom. That was the goal. But eventually, that comes to a head because that's not sustainable. And when real life kicks in, I had to really decide who I wanted to be, outside of who people know me to be. And that took a lot of work and a lot of giving myself grace and a lot of just understanding who I was becoming and giving myself the permission to do so. And throughout that, there was a lot of things about myself that I had to change, just how I, what I said, what I stood for, who I stood beside. And it all that together, I showed up a different leader, different father, different brother, different friend. And it just changed my whole outlook on life.
What happened? Did you have some sort of epiphany? Did you wake up and say, like, I need to change, or was it?
All right. Funny thing is,
thing?
well, it was gradual, but the last instance was I was on tour with Wiz Khalifa, and tour was going great.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a call from Minister Farrakhan. He told me the enemy was coming to see me. And I just told him, my enemy's in my neighborhood, so that'll never happen. But what I didn't understand what he was saying was, the law enforcement. And we did this show and something happened, had nothing to do with us. I ended up getting locked up for it, And to me, it was the biggest slap in the face I ever got because I did everything right on that tour. I really even came off my tour bus. That was the whole joke. Like I stayed on my tour bus the whole time. And just this one last show, I just so happened to get caught up in the mix of something that had something to do with some people that was from that city, had nothing to do with me. That just happened to be by my tour bus. And I ended up in the LA County Jail on the last day of the tour. Embarrassed, deflated, defeated, $10 million in bonds for everybody because I had my whole team on the bus. And I just couldn't believe that I did everything right, but I still got the bad rap and I was angry. You know what I'm saying? When I got out, I just was mad. And I went to go sit down and visit Farrakhan. We had a real talk. And he told me my message was changing. And that was enlightening to me because I didn't realize that I had that much impact. And it was a real thing because now I got to make a decision. I'm going to keep going down this road and become this rebel, or am I going to just conform to what, they ask you to conform to? And I chose to be the rebel. And that was going to cost me to change because I didn't want to get in trouble again about nothing, if that makes sense. And I was facing a murder charge.
You're facing a murder charge, yes.
I never seen this person a day in my life.
That's where I was going. When you ended up with me going to the LA County or the federal courthouse and you, it was kind of different.
No, I think it's the same.
No, I mean, under the circumstances under which we went.
Right.
It was the same.
Right.
So I can relate to that. And you're like, wait, why? How did I get involved in this?
That's what I'm saying.
Why am I here?
I mean, I felt like, I don't really like to go with the term victim, but I felt like a victim. I felt like, man, they really boxed me into this. And now this is all, I'm trying to get my, my reputation clean. I'm trying to do more corporate stuff. I lost all that. I lost everything. So for me, it was a turning point because now I'm looking at it. I can't be a victim. That's not going to work for me. So now I got to make this work for me. And what I did was I made a conscious decision to say everything I do from this point on, I'm going to do it my way. And if my likeness has anything to do with it, it has to be real business. Like I'm not doing no more brand deals, none of that. It has to be ownership. I'm not putting myself in a position no more where I'm doing things with these corporations that I'm not a partner because they can just cut you off.
You figured out your value was.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
You didn't know?
No, I had no idea.
All right, okay. Two things. One, what the minister just like, did he have vision? Did he know something?
I think that he was paying attention to me because there are a few of us that get it
Mhm.
And then what I've learned over time, just even with a lot of the mentors that I have, great people. But you think about the Tony Robbins and the Farrakhan's, it's like they can reach who they can reach. But they also know you have the ability to reach millions of people that they can't.
Mhm.
And if they can connect with you and you guys are like-minded, you can build there and have synergy because their goal is to reach more people,
Mhm.
right? And I think with Farrakhan, he saw where I was going and he saw that I wasn't covered and I had a lot of blind spots
Yeah.
because of the ignorance of, I'm Jeezy. Like, who go? Like, I thought I was scot-free. Like, when they put handcuffs on me, it was the realization, like, when they say you always be that word,
Mhm.
I felt like that word. Cause I just, you feel what I'm saying?
They gave you the N-word.
They gave it N-word.
N-word treatment.
Because
You know.
at the end of the day, and I don't say it because I don't want to give it any power. I definitely want my kids to hear me say that, but I felt like that. Like I felt like I just did this tour. We're doing 30, 40,000 people a night. We only got 3 dates left. It's been so successful. And I'm getting ready. I got a corporate job at Atlantic Records. I got a whole situation at Def Jam. I got, Avion Tequila, which I'm the owner of. I got all these things going. And boom. And here I go. I'm sitting in the cell and I'm trying to process what did I do wrong? And it's just one thing if you get a DUI or, you get in an incident, with another individual. But when you're sitting there and that judge says 187, like your mind is just like, what happened?
Mhm.
I went from being on the stage 1 minute and now I'm in this cell and I don't even understand, what's happening or how I'm going to process it. But
But there was a reason.
yes,
You figured that out.
yes,
But did you? I thought about slavery, the shackles, and
yeah.
I think that's what I thought.
For me, I thought
That
about
imagery.
silencing someone that had more power than he realized.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was real to me because here I got at the time, a 2.5-year-old daughter.
Mhm.
I'm trying to explain to her what's going on. I got all these people that was on the road with me. They were employees, but now I got to pay their bonds and I got to treat this because, the team was like, let's get you out of here. And, my thing was like, I can't get out until all of us.
Everybody's out.
So I had to get all of it. I ain't want to tell nobody.
I'm dealing with that now.
Oh, yeah? I ain't want to tell nobody how to get to my money. I'm like, we just about to sit here for a minute.
Yeah.
But we got out and
Yeah.
it was a great thing. But to answer your question, they say you don't know how strong you are until that's all you got.
Yeah.
That was that moment for me because that was the most unselfish moment I ever had in my life. Now, mind you, in another world, I'd have been trying to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Pay my bond. I get y'all out when I figure this out. But it's like, I can't leave these people.
Can't do that.
Unselfish moment.
But that also helped you.
Yeah.
That you did that.
And it helped me.
It was good karma, but also
Yeah.
the people upstairs.
I did the right thing.
Watching you do the right thing.
Yeah, because I didn't fold under pressure. But
Yeah.
when I got out, for the first, I don't know, I would say probably my first 6 months, I was angry. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, you had, I had the My President is Black song. You had Barack, he was inviting people to the White House. They had the ankle monitors on, no shots at nobody. We love everybody. But I'm like, I can't go to the White House. So I didn't even get invited to the White House when all this was happening.
Mm.
So I'm looking at this as a direct, effect from what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So, and maybe after those 6 months, I had time to process it. I had time to think about it myself. And I said, Jay, you've always been a leader in your own right. And, this is no different. You can't look at this as a music industry thing. You got to look at this as a man thing. What would a man do with something like this? What would a person with integrity do with this information and this adversity? And I just made a conscious decision. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lead by example because I don't got anybody that I can visually look at and go, okay, this is the way I'm supposed to do this. Because the transition is the hardest part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's so many mistakes to be made there. There's not a lot of guidance. And then, the return on the investment might not be what you would expect it to be.
What was the lesson?
The lesson from that?
What was the lesson in all this?
The lesson to that, to me, was I had to give myself permission to evolve. And evolving meant not being the smartest person at the table. Being open to new ideas.
That's one of the smartest things that that's one of the biggest and smartest lessons that you can learn.
Right.
Is that you don't have to, even if you're a leader, you're in charge of the operation,
Right.
you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. As a matter of fact,
Right.
I would rather the people around me be the smartest people in
Right.
the room.
But that's the thing about real leaders. That's what I had to learn how to understand. You could be the visionary, but you might not know how to execute the way somebody else understands how to execute, or see your blind spots. And if you got the right people in your circle, they're going to see your blind spots and they're going to enhance whatever vision you had. That's the thing. I had these big visions. Like I knew I wanted to change culture. I wanted to evolve, but I didn't have the right pieces there to help me do that. So that kept me playing on a chessboard where, I was susceptible to a lot of things that, you shouldn't be at that. I'm a multi-platinum artist at the time. I got all these multi-million-dollar deals, and I'm still getting caught up in the things that, street guys get caught up in. And if you ask me the real lesson is that if I had to I knew that I didn't know everything, but I also knew I had the understanding enough to go outside of what I was comfortable with and ask questions and get the data. And once I started getting the data, that was when I realized what my actual purpose was. I'm the person that can go out and get this because I am third coast, meaning I've lived in countries, lived there. I've lived in Hawaii, Japan, and all these different. I traveled around the world when I was, younger. So I'm a chameleon. I can go talk and be with anybody. I don't just fit this form of, I'm just a street guy. And once I started getting outside of my comfort zone and having these conversations, I got all this information. But now this is my purpose because I'm able to bring this information back to the culture and give it to them in bits and pieces that's digestible, rather than, you telling somebody something and it feels like you're preaching to them, and then they all automatically get defensive. And the other part of that is like, if I can see you living this thing and doing this stuff and it's working for you and you're happier, you're more at peace, and you're making bigger strides and bigger moves, I would watch that.
The Don Lemon Show is brought to you by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. As America approaches its 250th anniversary, it is worth remembering one of the principles that has helped define this country from the very beginning. Freedom means that you have the right to practice a religion, you have the right to change your religion, and you have the right to have no religion at all. Those freedoms only work when government stays neutral. That's exactly what the founders intended when they wrote a constitution with no state religion, no religious test for public office, and protections that belong to everyone, regardless of what they believe. Those principles still matter today as debates over religion and government continue in our schools, our courts, and our public life. The Freedom from Religion Foundation works every day to protect the First Amendment because it protects everybody's freedom of conscience. Learn more or become a member at ffrf.us/Don or text Don to 511-511. That's Don to 511-511. Text fees may apply. Support comes from Shopify. Now, when I launched the Don Lemon Show, I thought the hardest part would be sitting in front of the camera every day. Turns out it was everything happening behind the scenes. Building a website, selling merch, managing orders, keeping track of inventory. Every day there was another decision to make. And that's why Shopify has been such a great partner for us. Shopify powers millions of businesses worldwide and about 10% of all e-commerce in the United States. We use it for our very own merch because it puts everything in one place. Your storefront, inventory, payment, shipping, marketing, even AI tools that help you create product descriptions and improve your workflow. Whether you're launching your first business or growing one that's already successful, Shopify gives you the tools to spend less time managing your store and more time building it. So if you're ready to sell, you are ready for Shopify. Start your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon.
Is it okay to fail?
Absolutely. You learn when you fail because the thing that I learned is it's okay to fail as long as you can repair fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make it wrong.
Is there such a thing as failure? Because anything that people have deemed to me as a failure for me has been sort of motivation and a learning experience. Right. Like, oh, okay, so that, all right, I've done that.
Right.
But then also, once you fail, you have no fear of failing. And that's actually a success right there.
You're not going to learn how to navigate life and things if you don't have the experience. Things are changing. The world is at war. You know, the interest rates are up. You know, business is this is that. Like, there's moves that I need to make, right? That don't have anything to do with entertainment. That it's like life decisions I got to make.
Business.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Legacy and well-being. I can't just go make those decisions based off of what I feel or what I think. I got to go get the data. I got to go sit down with somebody who actually has been through this, and they're going to tell me, nah, like, if it were me, you know, you do what you want, but this is what I would look at first.
One thing we were saying, you know, not being the smartest person in the room, when I hear leadership, let's just put it that way, so I know more than the generals. I know more than the doctors. I know more than the scientists. I know more than the economists. They're like,
Right.
Right. And so I feel like in this moment, we don't have a shared reality of data or facts.
Right.
We don't have a shared reality of what even reality is, right?
Right.
They say it's raining outside, and they go, no, it's sunny.
Right.
You may hear that from the leadership, and you go, wait a minute, no, it's raining outside.
Right.
What are you talking about? So how do, you know?
I think that I think clearly there's a lack in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have great leaders like we used to. Like, we don't have people that lived and died for this, even in hip hop or even in business. Some of these people that took real chances to get out here and make things happen.
Like who, when you talk about hip hop?
I mean, I like Tupac, you know, like, you know, Pac was, he was a rebel, and he had, not to say that all his moral compass was right, but he had a moral compass. Like, he knew what he stood for, and he would have lived and died for that. And he did, actually, you know. And I think the beauty in that is getting to that point, but navigating it enough so that you don't have to die or go to prison behind this. And that's where I feel like I come in, because it's just like, I'm going to get the data from everywhere and bring it back.
When you're talking about redefining hip hop, and that's part of the residency, I think it's a little stagnant right now.
No, you're absolutely right.
And I think that you're right about redefining hip hop, not getting rid of it. I think you see that also. Is it country music or something that has gone ahead of hip hop?
Because we had it for a minute. If you don't leave something better than you found it, it's guaranteed to fizzle out. It's guaranteed. And I'll take it a step further. I don't even like to put the word hip hop in it, because to me it's more culture. Yeah. This is our thing. We don't own any NFL teams. We don't own any NBA teams. We don't own any oil rigs. We don't own none of this stuff. But this is our art form that we own and we create. And this is how we connect with our people. But hip hop has probably made more Black entrepreneurs and millionaires than anything, right? But now the art form is being taken and capitalized off of by these labels that are making, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, if not billions, off of these kids losing their lives, because you're giving these kids all this money, they're going out here and doing all these crazy things, and there's no leadership, you know. So there's that.
What you're saying is really important right now, and I want you to repeat it. You said it's being taken by what? Explain to me. You said this art form.
Right.
Just say what you said, because I just want you to say it consistently.
Right.
So that is,
well, this art form has been taken by these record labels and these companies, and it's basically being exploited. But you're exploiting deaf kids. You know, you got these kids. I mean, you know, and for me, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I don't know how nobody else see it, but like, these are my little brothers. Like, if we was in a tribe and we was in some country, like, I wouldn't let these people come in here and take my little brothers and go harm them and make them go fight their fight. I wouldn't do that. I would stand with them. And that's just to protect me. But I'm looking at these kids, and the reason why I'm going so hard to push this message is because I don't think they can see where they can break the glass ceiling. I think they think they're already there. Once they get this money and this notoriety, they feel like they're bigger than the program.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, like, you're not, because you're dying for things you will never own. You never own money. You never own the city that you live in. You never own, your time if you don't manage it right. You're going to prison for not knowing how to manage your emotions, right? You're like, these are decisions you're making once you are in a position that most people will never ever see. But if I sit here and tell you that's my mentality right now at this grown age and where I'm at in my life, then I would be lying to you.
So, look, so redefining is not just about, what shows up and what comes out of the studio.
No,
It's also
about who you are as a
business.
No,
And as you said, and having
bigger than business. See, this is the thing. So let me close a loop on this. I'm saying all these things to say that if you have no room to elevate or give yourself permission to evolve, you can have Jeff Bezos money. Your mentality will still be the same. But if you ask Jeff Bezos, or if you ask the man that worked at the car wash around the corner, that's smiling every day, he got his family, he got his kids, he got his wife, he don't need much. He got God, he's good, right? But you're chasing something that you will never have. Jeff Bezos would never have all the money in the world. But if you ask him, he'd probably tell you, like, the biggest asset and commodity is peace. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's the trick. And for me, it's like I've found this fountain of this, and I'm going, hey man, you can evolve, you can be yourself, you can do a Las Vegas residency, you can write a New York Times best-selling book, you can sit down with Dom Lennon, you know what I'm saying? You can do all these things and still be who you are without feeling like you have to be somebody that somebody wants you to be accepted. I don't have to be that no more. I don't have to walk out the door and be, Jeezy the rapper. I'm J. Wayne Jenkins, the man. I'm the father. I'm the brother. I'm the son. You know what I'm saying? I'm the person who's out here pushing purpose because I've seen it and I'm looking at it and I'm going, they don't have the data.
I don't think that they realize how much of the culture that hip hop, or just how much Black people are a part of American culture.
Right.
We are America.
That's a
You
fact.
can go, and whenever I go anywhere in the world,
Right.
I want to hear Jay-Z, I'm going to hear Beyonce, I'm
Right.
going to hear Michael Jackson, I'm
Right.
going to hear everybody.
Right.
You're going to hear everybody's
Right.
music. And that is really our commodity. That's what
Right.
that's the thing that, as you said, that we have to sell.
But not only just and that's why I say it's not just the music. It's those people you name in some shape, form, or fashion. Like myself, if you ask them, they would consider themselves leaders before entertainers.
Right.
And outside of just being able to sell records and get people together, we actually the ones that can mobilize our culture. You ever notice when it's election time, who they come get?
They come get Black people.
Entertainers and artists,
Yeah.
people with, because we can actually mobilize. Like, you gotta think about it. I was on the stage the other night, maybe 10, 15,000 people. You think about this. What person do you know, president, that you can give a microphone and have him go stand in front of 20,000 people and they recite him for an hour and 20 minutes, every word he says? It doesn't work like that. They don't believe that, but they believe this. And it's like, that's the thing that we have, because we're modern day poets, we're modern day communicators, we're modern day messengers, because this message we're getting and we're speaking for these people who are oppressed and demonized and treated a certain way. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it sounds good, sometimes it feels good, but sometimes it's pain. And if you know anything about rap music, hip hop, it came from pain. It came from poverty. It came from the projects.
That's my point.
Right.
And that's what, because the culture is closer to the ground.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, the struggle.
Yep.
Right. But I don't believe that we have to be in a constant state of struggle. I think that we have to be in a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity.
Well, that's the thing is, but if you're living for, and I can attest to that, like I lived for survival in the beginning of my first, 25, 30 years of my life. But abundance is a whole nother
show.
man. So it's like, but you got it, because it's inside of you. And when you say the universe, when I chose that route, everything that I ever wanted, it magically came to me because my spirit changed, my life force changed, the energy that I was putting out changed. I don't get upset about small things anymore. I don't worry about things I can't control. Not to say that I'm perfect, it's just that I just gave that away because the ego, you know, like they say, a bad day for the ego is a great day for the soul. It's like, I got so caught up in trying to make things be the way that I wanted them to be. And the minute I let go, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what's right, what I feel in my heart, people like it or not, because it was a challenge. You know, people could have been like, I don't like where you're going with this, and not been fans anymore or supporters. But I had to take that risk. And it allowed me a freedom that I've never experienced. And also the things that I always wanted just started to magically appear on my desk. And I didn't really understand it at first. It's like, what do I do with this? And that's what the message is for me, because once the piece was established, it's like being in a room and all four walls fall down and you can see as far as you can see. And it's just like there's nothing you can't do because your energy and your spirit brings people around. They like you. They want to be around you. They see your movement. They see your motion. They understand. But when you're living from survival and you got this ego and you just want to be out here, and it doesn't work like that. And even with culture, we've been taught to just survive. And that's the thing that we've been surviving since the beginning. When we gonna live? We got to realize that we can do it without taking each other out for it, without killing each other for it, without having to oppose or oppress each other for it, or have adversarial energy. Because when the last time you heard a country singer talking about killing another country singer? Right. You hear the K-pop artist say he gonna go around the corner and handle his business. I just don't understand why. What would make me want to go hunt somebody down that looks like? What would make me want to take this person away from his kids, away from his family? What would make me want to get platinum plaques and become a millionaire and still live like I'm stuck on the street corner? Why wouldn't I go back and help as many people as I possibly can? Why would I go out here and have to feel that if I see somebody that looks like me, I got to be on guard? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I think it does start with the music. You got to know that there's an alternative, there's conflict resolution, and there's an understanding that you're supposed to be able to live your life for as long as you can live your life. You know what I'm saying? Like you got mothers burying their kids. Like, that's the worst thing in the world, for you to bury your kid that's younger than you, all because of what culture is telling him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And culture's not allowing him to evolve because it's telling him to stay the same, which trickles back down to the next generation of kids, the next generation. Because if the fathers are locked up, then what's gonna happen with your seed? He gonna follow in the same footsteps because he think, oh, my dad was a real person. I gotta move like that. And to me, this is no slight to my culture. It's more so like, I'm tired, brother, because to me, I'm watching it in real time, and I'm like, why would you do that?
In redefining hip hop, and you said you don't even like to put in that, just redefining the culture.
Yep.
You said you want to challenge outdated ideas about what artists from the culture are supposed to look like, talk about.
Yeah, I think that, you know, growth. You know, it's and again, we can go back to how we talked about country music and even rock. They love their staple artists. My goal, my purpose is to elevate and inspire culture, because I feel that there's no one fighting. There's people that's taking our money, labels included, you know, these streaming services, no pun intended there, that's business. But who's making sure that we're gonna be around here another 10, 20, 30 years, and we're able to grow up in this and actually live this happily ever life that you would think of? Because if you go to college and become the best lawyer in the world, and you go out here and you beat all these cases, and then you retire and you go play golf, and then you live your life and you buy this house by the beach, why the hell we can't do that? Why can't we have that same experience? Why does our life expectations, people already got them so short that, okay, well, he's out of the way. Here's another one, that was another one. We'll sell his catalog, we'll do this. All these things to me is just like, but who's pushing for us to be here? Who's pushing for us to evolve? Who's pushing for us to knock down doors? Who's pushing for us to actually grow up in our culture? Like, who's pushing for that? You know what I'm saying? And speaking of, bro, I'm curious to see what he does next because people are watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look at Barack like, okay, what is he gonna do? I'm quite sure it's gonna be amazing, but he's pushing culture his way, and we all gotta contribute. And I feel like that for me is just like with the residency, with the books, with the speaking. I didn't even like to talk like this, but it's just like I gotta say something.
I want to talk about moving beyond. You said you want to go beyond just a concert.
This is an experience to me, and I want it to be more than a rap concert. And one thing that I understood going into this was even when I coined myself the Snowman, I knew the Snowman was gonna be bigger than me. And you can put me on a t-shirt right now, and some people may know who I am, but if you put the Snowman on the t-shirt, a kid from 2 years old to a lady that's 80 years old is gonna know that that's a snowman. And the only competition he really got is Frosty. That's it, you know what I'm saying? But for me, this legend of the Snowman residency is everything that I embody, everything that I am, but everything the culture has given me back. And I want to present this in a way that it feels cinematic. This is not you paying your money just to come watch somebody do songs that you love. This is the actual the story of what you've grown to love laid out in front of you in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Planet Hollywood. And I think the biggest part for me is, because we did it last year, we did 4 shows there, sold out, amazing. But when you see all these black people in these suits and these gowns, feeling good, came there for the weekend, ain't worried about nobody stepping on nobody's shoe. Hey, we didn't have one incident last year. The whole tour was nothing but professional brothers and sisters who just wanted to celebrate. And I feel like we don't have that, again, because once you start talking about hip hop and rap music, they made it such a young man's sport that everything that comes with those young men, you're not exempt from that if you show up in these environments, right? And nobody's want to go. I don't want to take my wife somewhere where if I step on somebody's shoe, I might lose my life, and I don't even like that for them. But this is somewhere you can come and actually enjoy yourself as an adult, as a young person, and be amongst like-minded people and celebrate something that you've grown to love over this time, but do it in a way that it's like when you leave here, you feel fulfilled, you feel inspired, and you never know, you might walk away with some other type of connection or just, resource or relationship because you're in here with like-minded people. Like we're here together. This is a celebration and we're looking good, we're feeling good. And there ain't nothing like when I get to that venue or I get there and I'm kind of coming up and you just see all these brothers and sisters like, kind of mingling around the lobby, but you know what they're there for. They're there for this experience. And for me, that means more than the music. It's like I'm getting my people to get outside of their comfort zone, to get on a plane, to come to Las Vegas, Nevada, to make it a weekend, to be there, to do the things that they love to do, eat, go out, catch a date night, whatever it is they do, and then come see, a great experience. And that to me means more than everything. Because I know if I could have been wearing a bow tie to go see Tupac, I'd have been in the building. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Yeah, I'd have been there.
This episode is brought to you by Helix. Now, you can't do what I do every day without getting good sleep. Between live shows, interviews, reading, travel, and everything else, if I'm tired, I feel it immediately. There was a time when I was waking up sore, tossing and turning, and never really feeling rested. And that catches up with you, and it catches up with you fast. Switching to a Helix mattress can make a real difference. Now, I've been sleeping on mine for a bit, and I fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed instead of dragging through the morning. What I really like is that Helix doesn't believe one mattress fits everyone. It's not one size fits all. They have more than 20 different models designed for different sleep styles and comfort preferences. They also make it easy with free shipping, 120-night sleep trial, and a limited lifetime warranty. If better sleep is one of your goals this year, Helix is absolutely worth checking out. So go to helixsleep.com for 20% off site-wide, 25% off the Luxe mattresses, and 30% off their Elite mattresses. helixsleep.com/Don. We are sponsored by Incogni. Your personal information has become a business. Right now, companies that you have never heard of are collecting, buying, and selling your name, your address, your phone number, email, and other personal information every single day. Most of us have no idea just how much our data is out there. A friend of mine recently dealt with credit card fraud, and watching them spend days canceling cards, disputing charges, and trying to clean everything up was a reminder of just how valuable your personal information has become. I've also gotten those fake package delivery texts that look incredibly convincing. You've seen them. I almost clicked on it myself. Thank goodness I didn't. That's how these scams work. Incogni helps remove your personal information from data brokers and people search websites. They contact those companies, demand removals, and handle the entire process for you. The less information that's floating around online, the harder it is for scammers to find you. Take control of your privacy today. Go to incogni.com/Don Lemon and use the code Don Lemon for 60% off. That's Incogni, INCOGNI.com/Don Lemon. Thank you to our sponsors.
So you said you want people to experience something they've never seen before.
Yeah, because you
Never
got to think
experienced
about it
before.
though. Most of us have never been. I've never been to an orchestra until I performed at one.
Really?
Ever. I thought the orchestra was an opera.
Really?
Yeah, because how am I know? I never been. Like my uncle ain't never took me to the orchestra. I seen operas on TV. So you got to think about it culturally. I can guarantee you, this tour that we took around 23 cities ended up in Las Vegas for 4 residency dates last year.
That was for
TM1.
Thug. That was
Thug-
TM.
Thug-
Thug
Thug
Motivation.
Motivation.
But that was that a full orchestra?
Yeah, 4 orchestra.
And then you're doing this one. But this one is your whole songbook,
Everything. Yeah, this is the catalog.
the catalog.
Mhm. But I can guarantee you, and I'm willing to bet, that if I had to bet, and I'm a betting man, I would say at least about 85 to 90% of those people had never seen an orchestra in their life. I can guarantee you that. Just think about Baton Rouge right now.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you actually think have been to an orchestra in Baton Rouge, Louisiana? Even in Atlanta, Georgia,
Or the opera.
or the opera. I've never been to the opera, by the way. I still ain't been there. Saw Hamilton, it was great, but I ain't been to the opera. But
Ballet.
Huh?
Ballet.
No. Because you got to think about it. It's just
Alvin
like,
Ailey.
huh?
Modern day. No.
Because it's like, where are we going to go see it at?
Mhm.
Unless you're privy to that type of company or environment. So we basically brought the orchestra to them. And at the same time, you know, it was legendary. We brought a 101-piece orchestra to Planet Hollywood, PH Live. And we actually was put in the Guinness Book of World Records for the biggest orchestra with the hip hop concert.
How does that feel when you're doing a thing in front of an orchestra? Because it's
It's
a total
amazing.
elevation.
But that's the thing. So
The room, like when you have real musicians and the room vibrates, not like a speaker
No.
or what do you call it?
you got to think about it like this, right? I've done most of those records, and shout out to my DJ Ace. He's a legend. I've done most of those records on the stage with me and my DJ for decades,
With a track?
just with a track. Could you imagine looking behind you and seeing 101 people helping you to execute your vision? These and sometimes I look back and I can't even believe it. And, you know, we love the gangster films and the Corleones and the Don Corleone. Like all that was that. And it was like not obtainable. I never thought that I could be in front of an orchestra performing live, especially to my culture.
With an orchestra, you can't slow it down or speed it up.
Oh, yeah,
or
you
even
can.
move.
Oh, no,
No,
they-
I'm sorry. With a track, you can't.
No.
You can't do that.
No.
But with an orchestra,
You can get bit, you
You
get
can
jiggy with it.
and that's when I watch the real pros. Like
Yep.
think about it. The Queen Whitney.
Yep.
Whitney was like, when she was in her feelings, she was
Right.
just like, slow down. And she was just taking it, and it was a whole
Thing.
it was a whole feeling that she had, rather than just somebody just out there singing with an auto-tune mic.
And one of my favorite artists, it took me so long to figure out why I love this music. I never knew in the beginning that Barry White had an orchestra.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love Barry White.
Listen to Sinatra, the Capitol Years.
Okay.
What he does with gosh, what's his name? Not Barry Gordy, but what's his Quincy Jones?
Okay.
Full orchestra.
Okay, I got to check that out.
Just my way.
No, that's what I ended with.
Yeah,
Last
was my way.
my way. And again, you know, I can promise you that at least 80% of that audience had never heard of Frank Sinatra's song.
When Motown started, it was all live musicians.
Right.
In the studio.
Right.
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 And for most of those records, all live musicians, and some of them orchestras.
Right.
In studio recording.
And actually we did, when we was out there, we actually did a live album.
Yeah.
With the orchestra, and we did a TM101 live album, which came out while we was actually, shout out to the Color of Noise. We got Derek Hodge, who's the conductor. He's like, you know, this generation of Miles Davis. You got Adam Blackstone, who's actually directing it with me and producing it. And, you know, this is going to be an experience. And actually, we just announced 11 more dates. So we had 10 now we had 21 dates. So, you know, everybody need to go out there and get their tickets. This is going to be like, to me, I don't know what people are expecting, but I can tell them it's not going to be that. It's going to be something even greater.
So you're at Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, PH Live.
I want to see you there.
Yeah, you gotta pull up.
Yeah, I know. I'm trust me, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
This was Legend of Snowman.
Yes.
Full orchestra.
Yes. Orchestra band, all the topics.
Can you tell people what we're going to see?
Man, you're going to see this vision I've been working on for the last 3 years. And this is, what you're going to see is culture evolving in real time. You're going to see it all put together, musicians, the culture, the people, all in this one space, celebrating us. It's like you got so much talent under one roof with the same goal. I don't think we've seen that when it comes to culture.
Jeezy, what do you think the most powerful art form is? I think it's music.
Mm-hmm.
And look at movies, cinema, art form, I think it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think the thing that resonates with everybody is music, because I don't care what you play from. Songs can take you back to a moment where you were 50 years ago, right? Or where you were yesterday.
Right. And it can change your whole mood.
And it can change your whole mood.
Yeah.
In an instant.
I mean, you know, I go from gospel to house music to, you know, the street music, whatever. And it's just like, you know, I grew up and learned a lot of what I learned by listening to music. I took it seriously. Like, you know, most people nod their head. To me, it was lessons. It was like Tupac was my therapist before I had one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually listened to the guy. I was just like, you know, that makes a lot of sense. And this art form that we have to protect it at all costs. And like anything else, it has to grow with us. We can't, you know, leave it in this space where it just has this, you know, this negative stereotype on it because of what society wants it to be, because that makes them feel better. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like when I saw the Snowman on CNN and they was banning it from schools, you know, back then, I knew then that this was real, because this is a shirt at this point. It's not even who I am now. Mm-hmm. And you wanted to shut that down because that's something people believed in. So for me, with this art form and where we are at this present time, is that much more important for me to present this in a way that it changes everybody's mood and it changes everybody's understanding of who we are and where we're going as a culture. Like everybody. You know what I'm saying? I want Barack to pull up. He should. You know what I'm saying? Because it's safe there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing crazy happening at our establishment. Music has changed my life. It has saved my life. Culture has done the same. And my contribution is putting this experience together for my culture to celebrate what it has done for me and what I've been able to do for my culture, in hopes that any generation behind me sees this as an olive branch to know that they're more than welcome to step into this light with me, step into this light with us, to evolve and grow and live their lives and have peace, have time, and celebrate their evolution without feeling like they have to be a certain way to be accepted, because that's not the truth anymore.
So you are working in what I believe, I think you agreed, the most powerful art form, at least modern art
1000%.
form. Well, that I believe that it is.
1000%.
So you're working in that, trying to elevate it, trying to change minds and lives.
Correct.
And what your full name is?
J. Wayne Jenkins.
Wayne.
Yeah.
That's
So
the part I
J-
didn't know.
J-
J. Wayne
I'm
Jenkins.
second. My dad's the first. He's senior.
Are you Jeezy, or are you J. Wayne Jenkins?
Well, that's a good thing. When I'm in my bag, I'm J. Jeezy Jenkins.
Yeah.
As the CEO, as the man, I'm J. Wayne Jenkins, which is JWJ. That's the name of my company, JWJ Enterprise.
Okay. So your government name is J.
Wayne.
Wayne
Yep.
Jenkins.
Yep.
Who is J. Wayne Jenkins?
J. Wayne Jenkins is a man that has learned through trial and tribulations that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you're able to self-correct, and that it's okay to be 100% authentically yourself, even if everybody else doesn't understand it yet. They'll catch up. And J. Wayne Jenkins is someone that, when it's all said and done and nobody's looking, he's still thinking about how to do the right thing. That's why I want to be in 10 years.
So you said the Snowman times 10. What was that thing? Remember that thing that was a big snowman but he wasn't good.
Right.
He was like
The abominable.
the abominable snowman.
We'll talk about that later. Say that one more
The
time.
abominable snowman.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
I'll come back and see you. Anybody who's listening, if I could give you one advice, never let them box you in. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to get caught up in what they think you should be based off of what you presented. You just haven't presented this other side of you yet. And the doors that have opened and the relationships that have been formed when I started living my truth has been unreal. Like, this residency wouldn't even be happening if I didn't lean into my truth, because I could have stayed touring, forever. I didn't enjoy that. That wasn't the experience I wanted for my people. Like, I wanted something bigger and greater. And I'm like, I had to go against these odds. And this is something I'm doing myself. Like, this is not like, I'm not doing this with anybody. Like, this is my thoughts, my team, my people, us working, getting the right people together. So this is like I wouldn't say it's a risk. It's a life's purpose. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't have been able to do that had I gave myself permission, because I would have still been doing Jeezy shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, you said that people never forget being a Marine. Now, I will never forget this experience. So,
well, I appreciate that, brother. Hey, great, man. Thank you for having me.
thank you.
It was great.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. We're live weekdays at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern, with new content at 2 p.m. Eastern, sometimes at 8 p.m. So follow The Don Lemon Show wherever you are: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Substack, Spotify, iHeart Radio, Apple Podcasts. We are everywhere, and we're there every day. And if you want a little more, join the Lemon community. Exclusive posts, behind the scenes, live chats. Just hit join or check the channel pages. All right, I'll see you next time.